I don't know that there's anything special about being an actor and going through that process.
Did you ever have to, play high school student, play a prom, and then, think this is what it must be like, or, do research on it? Like, is it what's like to be high school?
When we infiltrate a high school for a week and see what it's like. I grew up in a little suburban town outside of LA, and a lot of those guys are still some of my good friends, so I have a good sense of what life is like outside of being an actor. And I've been to proms, I just was never at my own prom, but it is kind of weird that, my high school memories were of fake high school on set, because I was on a show called Joan of Arcadia for a couple of years. That what would have been my last 2 years of high school, I finished out on a TV show. So that was my high school, the fake halls on stage 23 of the Sony lot, where we would just walk in circles and with the locker rooms there and, speak dialogue that other people wrote for us. So a little bit different, but basically the same thing.
And then with Twilight, you really, really hit the big fandom event horizon, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change the person? Does that make somebody lose concept of their place, or you feel like that makes you a stronger person, or is it just a wild ride?
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. It depends on who you are. For me, because I started so young, I had a little bit more perspective coming into it. I kind of understood the deal a little more than some of those kids. So for a lot of those guys, like particularly in that second film, they were coming in and, that was their first movie they've ever done. So they thought all of a sudden, oh, this is what it's like to be an actor, to be in the Twilight films. And then I think reality hit some of those guys pretty hard a couple of years later. They weren't riding that wave anymore. So I'm very lucky that I had that foundation coming into it. And the thing about, ultimately, the people who have longevity are the people who are in this for the right reasons, which is to develop themselves and get better as actors, and just ultimately, we want to tell good stories and be a part of things that people like. If you're in it, for the fame or for any of those other kind of reasons, you probably shouldn't be in it. It's probably not going to last too long for you anyway. As long as you have the right perspective and, you stay grounded and humble and grateful for whatever comes your way, then you should be okay. And I really tried throughout that process to be even-keeled about it. Not to say I didn't enjoy kind of some of the rock star elements, because I did, but at the same time I knew, this is what it is, this too shall pass, I'm going to be alright,
Speaking of being part of something people like, Z-Nation. So, how has that ride been? It's different from Twilight, definitely, but it's got its following, it's got its crazy supernatural aspects.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about that.
Well, Z-Nation, basically how I got involved, I'd done a movie with these guys, The Asylum is the studio, a few years ago, and they called me one day and basically said, listen, Mike, we're doing this zombie show. We tried to cast it locally out of Seattle, and we couldn't find anybody we liked. So we would have to hire you as a local, and here are the terms. This is all we can do. But if you want to be a part of this thing, come on board. So I said, yeah, sounds great. I love zombie stuff. So strangely enough, the first episode of Walking Dead, because I came into Walking Dead pretty late in the game, and I remember that very first episode as Rick was walking around as he woke up from the hospital in this new world that he was in. I remember thinking to myself, man, this moment, this journey that this actor is going through right now, this is the exact kind of thing that I want to do as an actor. This is fascinating to me. And then ironically enough, 1 year later, zombie show hits. But anyway, so yeah, sometimes, man, you put out there in the universe what you want, and you get lucky, you get it back. But yeah, so I read the script and I thought, okay, this is this is great. This is fun. It's action packed. It's fast paced. It's funny. It's like it feels very much like a comic book in a very traditional sense, and it felt like it was going to fill a void in the zombie genre that had been missing for a really long time, which was just fun, without kind of the element of parody, if that makes sense. So I called them back and I said, look guys, great, I have 3 questions. Are the zombies going to look good? Are the special effects going to be good? And does my character kind of get to go anywhere or do anything? And they said, yes, yes, and yes. And I said, I'm in. And then that's what